Okay, so now I'm going to wrap the bottom of the bouquets, essentially covering the hideous duct tape. This is a rustic wedding, so we're going to be using some twine, and then we're going to embellish with lace and twine bows. And I will show you how that's done to the best of my ability. So I'm just going to make sure that the duct tape is on there nice and tight, because, you know, our goal there is to hold everything together. We don't want anything falling apart on the big day or before the big day. So I'm going to take some twine right here, and it's kind of a pain, but it's worth it. I'm going to start up at the top, work my way down, and then I'm actually going to go back up a little bit, because in some areas, if the twine shifts a little, you definitely want the beautiful duct tape covered. So I'm just going to start by putting a little tiny bit of hot glue right there. Ignore my atrocious hot glue gun. It's definitely very well loved and very well used. Nothing fancy. I think I got it from Walmart for like $5 one year. So I'm just kind of holding it in place just to let that glue dry a little so we don't have a headache. So I'm going to go, since the hot glue kind of dries fast, I'm just going to put a little bit of a line there and there. You know, I'm only going to work maybe with like an inch at a time. So I'm going to start up right above where the tape actually starts and slowly work my way around. But I'm pulling tight because I want this to not slide at all. And then it's falling into that glue. You know, like I said, while pulling tight, I'm rotating the bouquet. You know, and it's not a big deal that you can't get every single spot, because like I said, we will come back up. There might be easier ways to do this. I don't know. I'm just showing you how I do it. And hopefully it's helpful to somebody out there. So you see, I'm just going around. Like I said, we're going to go back up, so the areas that are open, we will cover them when we're done. Too bad they didn't have a twine colored duct tape, or I would have gotten it. Would have made things a little easier. So I'm going to hold that for a second, you know, just to kind of let that glue dry. Then I'm going to do it again. I'm going to, you know, just kind of go around a little bit, get some glue about an inch down, maybe a little less. You just want to work little sections at a time so it's all like held in place. The goal here is to be beautiful but not fall apart. We don't want to be part of any disasters on a wedding day. Sorry for the background noise. Emma's watching Goof Troop, something I actually grew up watching. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but just in case. Okay, so that's the last of the glue. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it. I'm going to get to the bottom, and then I'll show you what I do next. Okay, so now I'm getting near the end. It's a little trickier. I'm going to go ahead and put some glue. Okay, honey. Okay, to the very, very tip. Okay, so I'm going to put some glue right here. This is usually where I burn my fingers. I don't recommend doing that. So I'm going to come around very carefully. slowly put pressure as I go on top of it. Okay. And I'm gonna put a little dab of glue right here because we're gonna start wrapping back up. Now, the fun thing about a rustic wedding is it's not expected to be perfect. So you don't have to stress about perfection. You want it to be beautiful, but you're using twine. You know, you're gonna have all these little fluffy things, and that's perfectly fine. Okay, so I'm going to work my way back up, and actually it's a little easier to kind of hold it like this. But now I'm getting halfway up, so I'm gonna just do this. I'm not gluing all of this. I'm just gonna go up, and then when I see a bare spot, then I'm gonna go back and put a little bit of glue. So like right here, I'm sorry, I'm not even on camera. So like right here, where you can see, I'm gonna just put a little tiny bit of glue in there. And then some up here, because we want it to hold those in place. So then you just put your twine in there and fill in that gap. And again, it's nice that it's rustic and it's twine that we're using. So, you know, little imperfections are totally fine. There's no need to, you know, stress about certain situations. We need to choose our battles, and this is one of them where it's going to be behind somebody's hands anyways, so no need to get worked up about minor details like that. It's going to be beautiful. So I ran out of twine, so I'm just gonna put a little bead right here and push it down, hold it for a minute. And I'll get myself another little piece of twine. Again, no big deal. Just kind of holding it in place, making sure it seals. Don't want anything falling apart on the big day. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to go ahead and start up here again. Just put a little bit. Get my piece of twine buried in that glue. Sorry if my voice sounds funny. I was choking on a sip of coffee a second ago. Not the brightest sometimes. For those of you who've choked on coffee, this is not a stab at you. I love you all. Okay, so I've got that started. I'm just going to bring it around. And again, I'm putting a lot of tension. I want this very tight. I'm going to put a little bit of glue in these exposed areas. I don't know how well it shows up on camera, but those little exposed areas where you can still see the duct tape. And again, I'm sorry, I'm not the greatest at making videos. I'm sorry when something's not on screen. I'm trying to focus and talk and think, and as you get older, it's not as easy to multitask. Okay, we are almost done. I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it around. some glue. Just kind of holding it in place. Feel the burn as the glue melts to your skin. Just joking. There we go. All right, so there we've got that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the prettiest side that I think, might look the best for the bridesmaid to hold as she's walking down the aisle. I'm going to remove any strings of hot glue that might have gotten pulled out. Fluff up my flowers a little bit. Okay, so now I think this is the side that's beautiful. So I'm going to embellish right here, and that's going to let the bridesmaid know that this should be facing outward for the people to see. And so what I've done is I've purchased pre-made little lace bows that are going to complement the bride's wedding dress, and just simple little twine bows. They were on clearance, otherwise I could have made them myself. They've got a little knot in the end, if you can see, just so they don't fall apart. Now I'm going to combine mine together. So I'm going to put this twisty tie right there and wrap it around the center of the lace one, because I want the lace in the back. You can see it, but just kind of a little hint of it. I'm going to twist it, and then I'm going to take both of those. And now I've got a bow with some lace and twine. And then the back looks like this with your twisty ties. So I'm going to find a little area on the bouquet where I can get these looped in and tie them. We're going to add glue too, but this is just kind of like an added thing. So I'm just going to twist it up on there. I don't know if you can really tell, it's just basic twisting. And then I'm going to kind of fold it up and behind it, because then we're going to put a nice dab of glue. Let me get this straightened out. Okay, so what I've been doing is I just kind of tilt it up right underneath there, and I'm going to put a nice big couple squeezes of glue, because I want it to stay put. And again, we don't want anything falling apart, especially on that big day. But we've got about a month and a half before the wedding, so even just being in storage, moving around, we don't want anything to fall apart. And there we go. So there's our final product with this bouquet and being wrapped with the twine. And then, on the big day, we'll manipulate the flowers a little bit, get them spread out a little bit more. But there you go. I hope that helps somebody out there. It's simple, easy, affordable. There you go. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Bye.